Let's talk about financial stability.
Yes.
You shared your background, coming from a family. Your family was immigrated from Italy, right?
Not my parents, but my parents' parents.
Your parents.
Yeah.
You have this immigrant mindset.
Yes.
I grew up in Russia. We had one room that was shared with my parents. They could only afford one apple a week. So and it lasted like that for 7 years of my life. And then it was still we weren't really well off. So when I started making money, until this day, it's really hard for me to say no to brand deals just because I'm still that Marina who's in Russia, whose parents can't afford the food.
Yes.
I'm like, who am I to say no to this?
Yes.
And it seems like a never-ending game. So this fear of going back to that room never went away.
Yes.
I wonder if it ever went away for you or you're still...
So it's such a great question. It's a really important one because it speaks to something universal that I think all of us, it's useful to face. And it's like, what is enough? And when do you stop? And to answer very, very specifically, there was a point in my career when I remember talking to my financial advisors, and they sat me down and we did all of the different scenarios that you can run. And there's like one name, it's kind of a brilliant name, which I love it. It's called Retire Tomorrow. And it's just a set of algorithms that they can run based on your investments and your spend and all those wonderful things. And they told me, Marie, you'll never have to work again. And Marina, I didn't believe it. And I believed it. I understood I could receive that information, but on a cellular level, I didn't trust it. I didn't trust it.
Because financial system can crash. That's my thing.
Yes.
You can tell me whatever you want.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also simultaneously, I know myself, I'm actually not a big spender. It has taken me personally a few years, 4 to 5 years, to really thaw to the fact that I don't have to work anymore. And so it has been, and it continues to be, a journey, like a spiritual journey of really tuning in and understanding from a very reasonable, logical place. Yes, of course, the markets could tank, everything could go away. And then I also have to face the reality, if that world happens, all bets are off. Then we're in a Hunger Games situation, and it doesn't matter what I had in the bank. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but still I'm but there will be crypto, there will be cash. I haven't heard that.
Yeah,
or real estate around the world.
Sure.
This feeling of safety,
Mm-hmm.
there's, for me,
Yes.
there is no level that's enough for that feeling to go away. It's feeling of unsafety.
Yes.
I feel unsafe all the time.
Well, I think that's, and maybe, and this is just an invitation, this is something to consider for you to try on. It might not have to always be that way. It might not have to. If you're interested in exploring or going, I'm willing to have that feeling of not being safe melt away and get replaced by something from the inside where my sense of peace and security comes from within. And trust me, I'm not just spitting out inspirational.
Is that what worked for you?
Yeah, it actually has, because I think one of the things that is really fascinating and kind of useful about coming from nothing or existing in a period where you've got tens of thousands of dollars of debt is what that feels like. And then if you were able to climb out of something like that before, well, that means that you have what it takes to figure it out again.
Yeah, but you were 20. And
yeah, that's all right. That's all right. I think that there's truth in that. And yeah, you have different energy levels at different point of life. But what you have when you're older is wisdom and experience and connections, which I didn't have way back then. So I also think what's useful too, what's cool about just going through different decades, we have this assumption sometimes that who you are is who you are, and I'm always going to want these kind of things, and I'm going to want this kind of life, and my priorities are going to be uber important to me, and I'm always going to want the biggest or the best, or, you kind of have this notion of who you are, and maybe it's fixed, and you're like, I'm always going to be this way. And what life has taught me is that's not true. But coming back to you, I'm just going to say that my hope for you, person to person, soul to soul, woman to woman, I know for a fact that you can feel that sense of safety and security from within. That doesn't mean financial situations won't go up and down, but I think it's going to be such a gift that you'll be able to give to yourself. And I know it's possible if it's something that you want.
Yeah, I think it's also something that keeps us going, right? Especially immigrants.
Yes.
And you're like, but should I drop this feeling if it's the one that's...
Oh, that's actually, can we peel into that a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
Because that's super fun. There is an idea, and a notion that I think many of us have been taught. I've certainly been taught it, that if you don't have hunger, that if you don't keep that hunger alive, that somehow you're going to lose your edge, that somehow you're going to fall behind, that somehow you're going to slip out of relevance. And every single one of those thoughts, at least for me, is rooted in fear. It's rooted in fear of losing something. It's rooted in fear of, again, becoming irrelevant or missing out or falling behind, or other people are going to get ahead, or I'm going to lose everything I worked so hard for. And the more I've been pushing against that dogma and testing it, it's not true. It's like creation can happen at so many different levels. And for me, what my experience has been is the desire to create comes less from a desire to prove or keep or retain or clench or hold on to. And it's coming from a much deeper, more expansive and playful and easeful place, which is not something that I'm used to. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
I'm used to pushing. I'm used to grinding. I'm used to like, get out of my way and I will make it happen. That's useful. That's awesome. But it's almost like, you know how a piano has 88 keys? I've been playing on 44 for the first part of my career, which is that push, that grind. Again, it's useful skills.
This is what gets you there.
Yes,
to the
that's
next.
what we love it. But what if there's a whole other range to play in? And so
Yeah.
that's what I'm interested in exploring. I ain't losing that. That's a part of me. That's never going to go away. But it's
Yeah.
kind of like overtraining a muscle. Do you know what I mean? And it gets
Yeah.
boring a little bit.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. So you have that range. So when you need to push, when you need to grind, when you need to have that hunger, it's like, oh, I can fire that up. That's well worn in me. But what about this whole other side?